Talk more about this is Kern County District Attorney Cynthia Zimmer. Cynthia, thanks so much for joining us this morning to talk about this. I know a lot of people are hearing this news and absolutely furious, frustrated. So how did this happen?
Well, it came to our attention because one of our prisons in Kern County investigated this. The investigators within the prisons investigated, and they brought us to the case. We filed charges. And we started looking at that, at the facts and circumstances of this case, started talking to the investigators. We saw that it was more widespread than just one case. We elected DAs throughout California started talking about it. And after doing some investigation with the help of the Department of Corrections, we took a look at all the inmates in the state of California that had been receiving benefits and cross-matched that between those that applied for EDD benefits. This is pervasive throughout every prison in every county that has a prison throughout California, as well as county jails. And it's also very, very common out on the streets by people who are not inmates. This fraud is massive.
I mean, you talk about how big this fraud is. In your experience, as you talk to all of the other district attorneys across the state, what was the reaction to this? I mean, this seems like this is a really big scheme.
We're dumbfounded. We are dumbfounded how easy it was. There are rap videos about this. There's a how-to on YouTube about how to do this. People, the inmates are mocking people, mocking law enforcement about this. Was just so easy. You make an application, there's no investigation, you get paid. Inmates on death row were receiving benefits. So this is outrageous. It's completely ridiculous, and we are overwhelmed. We have so many cases and so many people that are involved in this fraud. And so we've written to the governor as elected district attorneys. We've asked for help in investigating these cases, and we've also requested that he turn off the spigot, stop this fraud, and EDD, stop the fraud, and that's one of the reasons we came forward. It kind of compromises some of our investigations that we're coming out with this. People that know that they did this may move or do certain things that will be harder to catch up with them, especially those on the outside. But we had to do it because we had to stop the fraud, because we want people who deserve these benefits to get them.
I want to go over the numbers one more time because they're astounding. Some 2,500 inmates in 38 California state prisons. We're talking $140 million worth of benefits here. That could run as high as $1 billion. I mean, this is a ton of money that we're talking about right here. So you're hearing these incredibly big numbers, and there are still people that have not received their unemployment benefits. They're still waiting to receive that money. What is your message to them?
Well, it's be patient. Hopefully with this type of fraud, it will stop. But, we feel for these people. They lost their jobs because of shutdowns. And instead of getting money, the state has chosen to pay inmates. And it's not 2,300 people just statewide. That's just in Kern County that we have detected so far in $16 million. So hopefully with the inmates that are not getting their unemployment checks any longer, that the people who really deserve this can now, if there's any money left.
I was going to ask you, I mean, what happens to this money? Is it just gone?
Well, if the people who are in prison and their conspirators on the outside are prosecuted and convicted, a judge will order restitution, and they will be ordered to pay it back. And we may receive some of the money back because the amount of money, ranges from $2,000 or $3,000 up to about $30,000. So, we may get some of it back, but for the most part, we see very little restitution paid by convicts.
And again, this is a big scheme here. Who is at fault?
Well, I don't know.
Is it hard to say right now?
It's hard for me to criticize, other arms of government, but I will tell you this, that there was no cross-matching done between EDD and the Department of Correction inmate lists. And for example, in Kern County, if you apply for welfare benefits, there is a cross-matching system to see if the applicant is in jail. and then they're, that's a common scheme. In California, the EDD did not cross-match to see if the applicant was in prison, and most states throughout the United States do have that system. So that's something that wasn't done. They need to do that immediately, and we hope that they do that, because that's the most effective way of not paying out on claims for people who are in state prison. But it seemed to have been very hurried, reckless, and now we as the taxpayers are going to have to bear the price.
Well, and those, of course, that are trying to receive those benefits. You said yesterday, so far, 2,500 inmates have been implicated. 4,000 apparently applied for benefits, which 4,000 in Kern County.
In Kern County, yes.
Do you believe that you're going to find more?
Oh, this is just our start. We don't even have all the data yet from the Department of Corrections and from EDD. We just have preliminary data. And we're looking at our jails, too. We've already seen people who are, about a third of our jail is occupied by people who have been sentenced to state prison, but the prisons won't take them because of Corona. Mm-hmm. And so we're looking at those inmates, too. We've found hundreds of thousands of dollars in our jails. And so there are jails throughout California, so all counties are looking at that. So this is just the beginning. This is what we found in the last 2 weeks.
Again,
that doesn't even count the 20,000 inmates that the governor released early from prison. You know, they could have gotten checks while they were in prison. We're just looking at people who are in prison now. So there are just so many things that we haven't done yet. But we had to come forward. We had to demand that the governor do something immediately to stop this fraud.
He did say yesterday that this was absolutely unacceptable. Do you think that it's stopped? Do you think this is continuing right now? Do you think this is a huge wake-up call? And do you think
the governor is in charge of this state agency, so hopefully he will do something to stop this fraud.
Okay, really quick, because we are running low on time. I got to ask you though, how different, or why is it unique here in Kern County, this scheme?
Well, it's not necessarily unique in Kern County, but we have more state prisons in this county than any other county in California. We have 5 state prisons and 4 private prisons. This is a county of inmates. And these inmates are they're not convicted out of Kern County.
Right.
As a matter of fact, the majority of the people on the outside who are helping Kern County inmates are from Los Angeles County. So, but we're responsible for prosecuting cases that occur within our prisons in Kern County.
Right.
So we have a huge undertaking here for the Kern County DA's office, because we have so many prisons, 9 prisons really to look at, and a county jail. And for all these Los Angeles inmates, many of these people are gang members on the outside. So this is a huge undertaking during a period of time in which, our staffing, it's difficult. But we're going to do it, and we're going to hold these people accountable. We're going to rise to the occasion. We're going to work closely with the investigators within state prison, and we're going to do the best we can to seek some justice here.
All right, well, it looks like there's going to be a lot more to come on this investigation as more developments come forward. Kern County District Attorney Cynthia Zimmer, thanks so much for taking the time this morning to talk about this, and enjoy your Thanksgiving.
You too. Thank you.
All right, we'll be back.